Hey guys, welcome back to Total Fitness Podcast. My name is Matthew.
I'm Walter. And tonight we have a special guest, John Fahrenwald, who I met through Instagram when I saw him hanging upside down on a pole. And I thought, wow, this guy's really amazing. I do a little bit of work with bands, but to see someone doing full circus stuff was great. So I wanted to reach out to him, and he's going to join us today and talk about what his journey is. So welcome, John. It's good to see you here, and thank you again for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about what started you off? Why are you doing pole work? Why are you doing hoop work?
Well, thanks for having me here. I actually haven't been doing pole very long. I've been doing it for less than a year and a half, maybe 13, 14 months. But it was kind of a natural fit. I started off always enjoying fitness. I was kind of a little gymnast when I was a child, and I had other more important pursuits. So I was kind of a part-time athlete. I like to stay in shape, but I did have some natural abilities of gymnastics ability, which does help with pole work. You need a lot of upper body strength, and it's good to have some of that already. So I started lifting weights when I was 15. So I've been weight training. I'm 55, so I've been weight training for 40 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have some old muscles, which, strangely, I've just started to notice that, it's good to have old muscles. They're very strong, but, I really need to stretch a lot. It's not just, especially with pole, it's not just a nice thing to do. I actually have to do it, or I just can't do things. I can lift weights without stretching, but I can't do things that require skill. Weights do require skill, but I don't want to say that doesn't require skill, but that's something I've been doing all my life. And pole has a lot of speed involved, and you need to be flexible. So I would say the one sport I really like is weightlifting. It's not competitive. Well, it is competitive on the bodybuilding circuit, but I just enjoy the actual process of lifting weights. I think it feels good. It resets your mind. It's something you can go to a specific place and do. You can go to the gym and say, I have an hour, and just do it, and you will always feel better. So I really enjoy weightlifting. I had a partner who was really into yoga about 10 years ago. I did yoga for 2 years. I was better at the hard stuff, like standing on my hands and balancing. I was really horrible at just turning to the side. So it was kind of a funny thing because, I just didn't have the flexibility. I was working on it, but I did get a lot better. But, I did it, but I didn't love yoga because I don't need to be conscious that I am doing something good for myself. It's really ingrained in me as a part of a normal day. You need to sit down and do your work, and then you need to get up and exercise. You got to do that every day. Mm-hmm. It's okay. One of the best feelings I have is, back when people traveled on planes a little more, I would love the feeling of getting on an airplane and sitting there for 6 hours, knowing that I did a horrible leg day, and I have every right to sit here and do nothing for 6 hours. It's a really good feeling. So I have been so interested in weight training that I was a personal trainer for a time. And then I got into yoga, and then my partner is a ballet dancer who retired at the old age of 29 from ballet.
Oh, wow.
And then got into pole dancing. And of course, it's a pretty easy transition from lifting girls in the air to lifting your body on a pole. He's pretty amazing at it. But this is how I got into it. If the reason I'm bringing it up,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know much about it, and it's not really pole dancing. There's pole fitness, is what it's technically called. I would recommend it to anybody to go to a class and get fit on the pole. There's nothing strange about it. We all deal with a metal bar. It's just what position is it in.
Fair enough. Yeah, very true.
So it's really just like any other sport that deals with you having to battle with an object that doesn't move, and or having to move, instead of lifting a bar with your body, this is the bar that's not moving, and you're lifting your body. Right. So that's really the only difference. The thing I really like about it is it involves, which weight training doesn't have for me, is it involves a bit of creativity. You can do your workout to music and kind of improvise and play with that. You can, build a routine. So in that sense, it's kind of like a gymnastics routine to music, or ice skating, something where there's an artistic element, if you like. It's also athletic. There's some people that basically do sideways gymnastics on the pole, and then some people do it more from a sensual perspective. And if you do that to music, it's beautiful. It's something that's beautiful to watch. If you watch someone lift weights, I don't know if you could call it beautiful. Sometimes it's hot, but I don't know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It involves a lot more. It's something very exciting. I think what was the hardest transition for me to learn the pole and on the lira, which is the round, is it what they call it, a lollipop? But it's pure metal. It kind of hurts. But the hardest thing is, no matter how much you lift weights, you have this kind of forearm buildup you need. You're lifting your whole body with your hands, your wrist, and your forearm.
Right.
That's really got to build up. Mm-hmm. And that is quite a, that's about a 6-week learning curve for your body to do that. And so that's pretty intense. So I went to how I became involved with it, as I went to a performance that my partner had. They do a little showcase, and I went, and I was so inspired. There's it's a very accepting environment. There's no sense of competition. It's just, it involves either athleticism or self-expression. It's very cathartic for a lot of people, which a lot of working out is. But I think it's this open expression, which kind of goes against any kind of repressed feelings you might have. You can kind of battle those on a pole and feel like you've kind of then you've won over all these preconceived notions about people. I am speaking mostly for women. The pole has kind of a stripping background, and so for a woman to do the pole and to just feel like, no matter what body type she is, to express herself on this in an athletic way without any shutting herself of any kind of judgment maybe she grew up with about it, is very freeing. Yeah. And there's an aspect of that for men too. Some people just will not look at it and say it's too weird for a guy to do that. there's preconceived notions about everything.
Of course.
So it's a really great field because it is so athletic, but in a way it's so undiscovered and it's so underappreciated.
Yeah.
And there's so many aspects to it. You can be you can approach it in a gymnastics tumbler way, or you can approach it in a balletic dancer way, and both are equally challenging and satisfying. I was really blown away by everyone's performances when I first saw it about a year and a half ago, and then I inquired about taking classes, and I was pretty good at a lot. Just like yoga, I was better at the stronger stuff.
Right.
I'm working on the flexibility all the time, which is another great thing about it, is because I don't know if you're like me, but flexibility is especially if you lift weights, flexibility is like the least exciting thing I ever want to work on.
Mobility work, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get it out of the way, and sometimes you just I'll do it next time kind of thing. And you really are inspired to work on that with the pole. It really does. You can get your legs through your arms. You really can do some moves if you are just a little bit more flexible, and you do feel better afterwards. So I've really enjoyed, and I think what I didn't know how unique it was, but when I put it on Instagram, I've got a lot of feedback about it, because I think there's different unique aspects about it. One, pole is unique, and then a guy on pole is unique, and then an older guy on pole is even more unique. So
well, that's kind of what brought you to our attention, right? We were very blown away by your ability, and it's just incredible. And I'll let Walter kind of take this question, but because it's more his background. But again, you started pole about a year and a half ago, and you're 55 right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So was there anything that you thought in your head, like, I don't know if I should be doing this because of my age, or there is something holding me back? Because I've trained clients in the past. Walter's trained. It's a question, Walter.
It's a good question. Good.
But we both dealt with this, where people have this notion in their head that because of their age they shouldn't be doing something, not alone just like I shouldn't be going dancing because I'm 50, 60 years old. It's a kids, it's for younger generations. People think they physically cannot do it anymore because that's where their body is at, because they're so stuck in a mindset with that. What was your mindset going into this? Did you have any sort of reservations about it, or was it all just full steam ahead? I know my body well enough and I can do this.
I've never had reservations at it. I think a lot of us can identify with this. You look in the mirror and you're like, oh God, I didn't know I was that old. So there's a certain aspect where you're only as old as you feel, and I've never felt old.
Right.
I get and I highly recommend this, but I go to a naturopath men's health clinic, and I get testosterone injections to boost my levels, and they do it. It's medically, it's a totally how do I say normal thing. But I think having your testosterone levels higher than maybe you would be without that supplement is very helpful to just keeping all you physically I'm kind of losing the words. Lubricated your muscles. I used to have I used to get joint pain, and I think it really helps with that. It also helps with a little bit of your drive to do things. So the answer to your question is, I don't think you should ever listen to anybody. You're going to hear people tell you that you shouldn't be doing things, and I get that all the time, that I shouldn't be doing it. I'm too old. And there are some things that I just take in stride now. Every time I'm at the gym, someone says, how old are you? Every time. When you're younger, that's kind of insulting, but I realize they're not asking me because they want to be rude. They're asking me because they are impressed that I'm in shape, and they know that I'm not young.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is your own self-perception. It's you got to ignore what's out there, and for me, I can't assume that any question dealing with age is a negative reflection on me, because it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
I can get more sensitive about it. You referred to like going out to a nightclub when you're too old. Part of that is you probably yourself don't feel like doing that either. So if you actually don't feel like doing something, it's okay to kind of absorb some of the feedback and you kind of internalize I'm too old. But I don't think that should hold you back at all.
Yeah.
And I've never felt that.
No, that's
I actually have a plan. I want to do this until I'm about 70, and I'm sure when I'm 70, I'll probably extend it. But there are no role models for people my age doing pole. There's fewer role models the older I get, and it's harder to find them. And I'm becoming a role model. And how do you adjust to that? I don't know about you, Walter, but one day people start calling you daddy. Like, when did that happen? It kind of sounds like it's old overnight. So how do you deal with you being older? You have to adjust in your mind. I'm older, but you can't let that stop you. You gotta feel. Also, I do feel my age. I'm not gonna lie. I feel my age. I need to stretch. I feel my muscles tightening more than they used to. I feel like now it's more important than ever to exercise. I have to exercise, or else I'm going to curl into a little ball and hit the grave and go into the ground. I'm not just exercising for fun. I am fighting gravity. I've had to fight gravity for 55 years. That's more than someone that's 30. So I am being pushed into the ground. And you feel that though. And you don't feel it gradually. You feel it in little levels. It's like, wow, you wake up, you're like, wow, this is harder all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Everything's conscious. I fight really hard to stay in shape. I work out really hard. I do a hard leg day. Every time I'm my mom's 92. She sees me working out hard, and all she does is say, "Oh dear, I'm so worried about you."
The motherly thing.
Yeah, the motherly thing. And it's like, what is my option?
Yeah.
To not do anything and to be weak.
Yeah.
You've got to work hard on strength. You've got to really work at it. And if you find something that you love to do, then it's really fun. I have trainers for everything, because I have trainers for my weights. I have private lessons for pole. I need someone to push me. That's for me. I can push myself. I haven't, I used to be a trainer. I can push myself, but I know that will get me going. I don't need to be in a mood. I have to show up and somebody says, let's do this.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that help us to stay motivated. And sometimes you just have to put it in someone else's hands once in a while.
Fair enough. Yeah. Absolutely. That was a great answer.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Inspiring for me, honestly. Because you do run into those things. You do run into those people who go, dude, do you really think that's wise? Yes, I think that's wise, because I want to be where I want to be in 20 years. And I don't want to be where I think you might be in 20 years, because you're not exercising, because you're not pushing yourself. I have a coach for strap work. And although I don't have a coach right now, sort of, because he's across the country.
Sorry.
I still drive myself as far as the weights are concerned as much as possible. And I think you're right. I love I've got to fight against gravity.
Exactly.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. And what do people spend their money on? I spend a lot of money on fitness, and I have more money now than I did last year. I'm spending the same amount of money. It doesn't matter. This is the most important thing in my life. This is not just my hobby, but this is what I do. If I didn't have to work, it would be all I do. So this is and there's a certain amount of desperation to it. It's like, I need to do this or else I will age. I will age faster and I won't enjoy life as much. It has to do with my investment in every day of enjoying life every day. When I work out every day, it means that day has been enjoyable and I can invest in a future day that will be more comfortable because I'm fit. I can jump off a platform, off a train and not hurt my knee. You know, I can do things that won't affect me negatively because of my age.
Absolutely. I think that's a great topic to bring up, because a lot of what my generation is dealing with now is that social media aspect of, you look online and if you're not a millionaire by the age of 22, what are you doing with your life? If you're not a six-pack body by the time you're 18 now, it's like, is there even a point to try? And in my age group, people are starting to see it a lot more. You know, I get a lot more people inquiring, even friends from university days and high school days, asking me like, you know, all of a sudden I woke up and I gained a ton of weight, and, you know, my blood pressure is really high, my cholesterol is like all over the place. Like it kind of just comes out of it doesn't come out of the blue in a snap. It's a gradual buildup, but you wake up one day, you're fine for 5 years, and you wake up one day and all of a sudden you're in the hospital with a heart attack. And I've had friends that have happened to, and they're just over the age of 30. And it's very important, and you bring this up, and it's a great topic you brought up, is you need to focus on the investment into the future. And if you enjoy it, that's one thing. That's amazing. If you can enjoy it and that's what you love to do, that's amazing. What would be some advice you would give to somebody who may not find fitness as enjoyable, but they know the importance of it? How would you say to them, this is why you need to do it and this is how you can make it more enjoyable?
Well, you know, what you said is really true. It's easy to be fit when you're younger. It's really easy. And then when your metabolism changes, it's kind of that expression that separates the men from the boys. You know, are you going to work hard now and try to be fit? So you have to consciously tell yourself, I actually need to invest time in this because it's not going to be as easy. And anything can be enjoyable. It can be walking your dog. I had to walk my dog for an hour because she's the one that's barking like crazy once in a while now. But I had to walk her for an hour to calm her down. It was interesting to me that even though I work out a lot, adding that hour of walk every day was tiring. So it doesn't matter what you do. You can probably find something that's physically fitness oriented that you will enjoy. But it's got to be something regular, and it's got to be a priority. You can't always say, oh, this is taking precedent, I'll do that later. That's another reason I have a trainer. It's like, this is an appointment just like any other appointment.
Yeah.
In my day, I can't cancel it.
Absolutely.
You also don't take for granted that you're going to love doing what you do. I don't always like training. I tell my trainer I hate leg day, and he frowns at me. But, you know, I'm there and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what he says. So I'm also there to yell at him, and that's why he's making money.
Yeah.
You know, good attitudes are not going to happen every day. Just do it. You don't have to enjoy it every day. You have to enjoy the result. You have to enjoy it sometimes a lot. But you're not going to enjoy it every day, just like everything. But just do it. Stay regular.
No.
Yeah, I tell my clients that motivation doesn't exist. Habit exists.
Exactly.
It makes a habit, you go. And then some days you wake up and you are motivated, but don't look for it. Don't go, oh, I'm not motivated, I'm not going to do it. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have some goals. Look at some people that you admire, whether it's look at some people that don't admire. Look at your uncle or your grandpa and say, you know, I don't want to look like that. You know, sometimes
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah, look at people you don't want to be like as well. Not just role models, but it takes work. It takes work.
Absolutely.
And habit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So that was amazing. Thank you so much for that. We do always like to ask one final question, and you can take 3 to 5 minutes to kind of talk over this if you need that. But very quick question. What is one piece of advice you would give to anybody or a specific group of people? It can be your choice. And what would that be to tell them, like, this is how you can improve your life starting today or tomorrow?
I would say you need some consciousness and intention in what you're doing. Once you build good habits, you don't have to be as conscious and attentive to them, but you might be full of bad habits. You might be full of not being committed. You might be full of giving up. You might be eating the wrong things at night. You might be going to fast food joints because you're in a hurry. All these things are unconscious. You need to change that and be conscious. Every time you look at a plate of food, you have to say, what am I eating? And is this going to affect me? I do that naturally. Everything I eat, and I just don't go to fast food restaurants. I don't overeat. I take home food when I order food in a restaurant if I'm full. These are habits that you build one step at a time, but you really need to be conscious about it, because you can work out as hard as you can. If you're not eating well, it's not going to show up. And this is with people getting older. When you're younger, you can get away with a lot of stuff. And so I would be conscious about what are you putting into your body, and what are you really prioritizing?
Yeah.
Make a conscious effort to do that, and also know what your goals are. They need to be reasonable, but you have to have this overall long-term goal that keeps you going.
Yeah.
I want to, and it can start general and then get more specific as you go.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people who are kind of lost in the fitness world are just not paying attention. So you just need to be conscious.
Yeah, no, that's a great piece of advice. It truly is.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, so obviously, if you guys want to check out John a little bit more, your Instagram handle is?
It's very easy. If you think my name is easy, because it's just my name, it's John Fahrenwald.
Right, so we'll include that. I'll put a pop-up and I'll put a little link to in the description. Is there anything else, little final remarks you want to say, or?
No, I really appreciate you having me on here and chatting.
Awesome. No, thank you. We really do.
It was great hearing your message.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you
is
so
truly
much.
great. Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
We'll talk
Thank you.
Yes,
Good.
absolutely.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, this is Total Fitness Podcast. We will see you next time. Stay safe.
Stay breezy.
Take care, guys.